Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called What Do Americans Think of Canadians? Americans versus Canadians, Differences and Similarities. So I watched a video like this before, which was asking Americans what they think of Canadians, but it was in rural America. So this one I think is more like college students. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a difference in the opinions, difference in the knowledge. And yeah, that last video about with the rural Americans was quite positive, so hoping this is the same. Let's check out and see what these Americans think.
We love Canadians!
A lot of people around the world seem to think that Americans and Canadians have a lot in common. Today we're in Tampa, Florida, and we're going to ask Americans what they think of Canadians. What are the differences and the similarities?
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Canadians?
Bacon, Justin Bieber, and something about them's like really nice.
Okay, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely Canadian bacon.
I get the impression that they're nice. That's about it, really. I mean, I know a couple of Canadians and they're nice people. I know that's like a stereotype kind of, but I mean, that's, I don't think it's a bad one. So, yeah, that's the impression I get. I can't really think of any bad ones off the top of my head. Most of it's like they're nice people like that.
Yeah, that's true actually. I feel like Canada is quite unique in that respect. I don't know any other country that has such a reputation for being nice people, being good people. Can you think of any? Is there any, in your opinion, that you think of a country and you think, oh, those people have that reputation or stereotype for just being good? Like, at least it's a positive stereotype and a very, very good one at that.
Heard some stereotypes, like they're nicer. I know there's big culture around hockey and winter and snow. That's really cold there.
Very cold.
Yeah.
What are the stereotypes that you guys hear over here in America about Canadians?
I think that it seems pretty peaceful there, well, compared to here, from what I've heard. So,
In what sense do you mean peaceful?
like with politics and things like that.
Like, and with regards to that, I know like it definitely is. I don't think there's anywhere that's so divisive as America. I mean, there probably is, but what do you see Canadian politics becoming more emotional, more divisive after Carney becoming PM? Is it become nicer? What do you think? How is Canadian politics changed over the last couple of decades, in your opinion?
Montreal, because it's right next to it's like an hour from where I live.
Where do you live?
Plattsburgh.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. What about you?
I think of hockey mostly, yeah.
Have you guys interacted with a lot of Canadians before? Or?
I haven't even talked to a Canadian once.
I met a guy from Toronto, and he was chill. I liked him. He was nice.
What are the common stereotypes that you guys hear about Canadians over here in America?
I don't really know that much about Canadian stereotypes.
It's just that they're really nice. Like,
Really
that's
nice.
like the most basic stereotype.
What kind of similarities do you think Canadians and Americans share? What are the differences do you think they have?
Start with her.
Well, I feel like it depends where they live, but the guy in Toronto is basically like the same as Americans, I would say.
Very similar, right?
The Canadians there are a lot more polite than the Americans there.
Maybe the healthcare system. I don't know. I feel like they got a little better than us with the universal healthcare and all that.
Well, one of my teachers is Canadian, and she says that they don't do a lot of like standardized testing in America. That's like a big thing. There's a lot of standardized testing. So, I mean, like maybe that's a difference also. I'm sure like there's a lot of different like politics wise. It's very different. I don't really know. But I mean, like stuff like that, like I'm sure they have like different, like the atmosphere is different.
The phone culture.
Yeah, the culture is a little different. But yeah.
With regard to the lack of standardized testing, is that true in your opinion or your knowledge? And yeah, I guess Canada's so big that like it's hard to stereotype the whole country, and like as they say, probably things differ in culture between the cities and the rural towns or the smaller towns and things like that as well. But yeah, it's like you can already see as well some of them don't really know too much about Canada, which is like for me still very surprising that a country that borders another don't have much stereotypes or don't really have much knowledge of them. It's quite sad in a way, but at least a lot of them do, and you can tell me if they're fair.
Probably attitude and how people interact with each other. And I know there's definitely A lot of people in Canada speak French in like Montreal, and Quebec.
I haven't really found too big of a difference, I would think. So
Very similar. In what aspects do you think Canadians and Americans are similar? That's the last question.
Really, honestly, I think the language is relatively the same, really, and we can communicate just fine. So I think that's what we have in common. So that's good.
Can you do a Canadian accent?
Hello, I am Canadian. I don't know. I'm really bad. I know they say like they like that instead of like about they say like a boot, kind of like, I don't know. That's what I've heard though, but what I've seen. But yeah, I like Canadians. I think they're great.
So where are you from?
I was originally born in Nicaragua.
When you hear Canadians, what kind of things do you first think of?
Very nice people. The whole rendezvous, that's it. It's just really nice people. I have some Canadian friends that say sorry a lot.
What do you think are the differences between the American culture and Canadian culture from your perspective?
The American and Canadian culture, I really don't know because I haven't experienced that much. And the Canadian culture, I have like 2 friends from Canada, but they're very like Americanized, if you can say it that way. So I don't really know.
And in what ways do you think they're similar to each other?
It's similar to each
From a
other.
Hispanic person's point of view.
From a Hispanic point of view, they're the same. They look the same. I mean, yeah, Canadians, yeah, they're very similar. They're almost exactly the same, at least from my perspective. Yeah, Canadians are more apologetic and nicer, but other than that, that's about it.
So they're both considered like gringos in your culture.
Yeah. Even though gringos, technically speaking, gringos are just the Americans. Generally speaking, they would be gringos too.
Like, in what aspects do you think Americans and Canadians are similar?
I feel like our cultural preferences are pretty similar.
I would say the same. Our values are, I would say, pretty similar overall, but I don't know, I'm not that well versed in Canadian culture.
No worries. So what kind of stereotypes do you guys hear about Canadian culture here in America or about Canadians?
I feel like no matter where you are, a stereotype from people that don't live where you live is that they can't drive. Like in New York, we think that, like, you hear a lot of times Canadians can't drive, but you hear the same thing about like New Jersey can't drive, Florida can't drive. You hear a lot of that.
Really, I've only heard positive stereotypes, like how Canadians are a lot nicer than Americans.
A lot more friendly and stuff?
Yeah, a lot more approachable or friendly.
That was interesting. Yeah, again, like it's good to see. It's mostly overall quite positive. Again, like sometimes we watch too much coverage in the media, you just see like how the politics takes over and like Trump being so abusive and the fight back from Canada and just in that, but just on a day-to-day basis, just normal people are just happy and respectful. So that's kind of good to see, especially the younger generation, and they seem more knowledgeable. I've watched some videos before about younger Americans being asked questions about Canada and really having no knowledge at all. So this one, at least they knew some things, like some not so knowledgeable, but some did have some knowledge. Again, should be a kind of basic, I guess, but yeah, I was sometimes when I watch things like this, it can go very wrong and it can be just a bit dumb, but this one was pretty good, man. They all seem quite normal and quite respectful, so good opinions. Tell me what you think about these. If there's any other similar videos, recommend them too. Thanks.